wish.
I have
Situation.
I have a feeling that it has something to do with the Insecure TV series as well. Yep, I knew it. I need a gold medal.
Say that again?
Y'all watch Insecure?
I don't.
I'm gonna start. I'm about to start. I'm gonna start this week.
Guys, you're letting me down big time. You're letting me
I
down.
don't have time to be starting that, man. That show looks too.
What do you mean you don't have time? We've literally
It
had
seems
all
very
the time in
passive
the
and very
world.
it seems very passive, very wordy, very non-dramatic, very stiff. You know.
They're on
This
that.
is coming from someone who hasn't even watched an episode.
Yeah, man, you gotta watch it. You're telling me to watch Black Mirror, so of course you should watch Insecure as well. Come on, man.
Go watch it first
have you
before
watched
you
Black Mirror
pass
yet, though?
judgment.
Have you organized the watch party yet?
That's true. That's true.
Exactly. I'm not watching it.
Yeah, give me a day, everyone. It was a good day and a good time. A good day and a good time. Check your calendars.
He said, check the calendars and let me know.
But yeah, situationships. Situations.
I just don't believe that situationships should exist in life.
Wow, that blunt. Episode done? Or
No. I just don't think that they should exist because they only exist when there is miscommunication between the two parties, right? Like, there's just so many unnecessary elements to situationships that I just can't deal with, you know. I just like being extremely clear and upfront. Obviously, in like the talking / flirting / dating stage, it may not be as apparent yet because, you know, both parties or multiple parties are still trying to figure out where they stand with like particular people. But the moment that you pass like getting to know a person, at least potentially romantically, you need to start being clear and upfront about what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So,
what the hell is that?
Would you believe your friend if they say, wait, what? Okay, I'll just carry on. Would you believe your friend if they approach you can see from afar, you know, they're being taken advantage of, God forbid, in whatever way. But would you believe your friend if they came and told you that, you know, they can't? Would you believe anyone who would tell you that they're not in a situationship when you can see the signs that, you know?
I would say that sounds like a personal problem to you. It's one of them ones where it's difficult, right? Because as a friend, you don't want to always wade into other people's business, but at the same time, I think have expressing your sentiments, right? Once. That's my rule. Like, if you ask for my opinion, because sometimes we do give advice and we do give our opinions unwarranted. If you do ask for my opinion as a friend, then I will tell it to you straight what I perceive to be the case. If you refuse to, you know, take heed of the fact that it's not a situationship and you prefer to have a different perspective, then I cannot be held accountable for the way that you interpret that situation. And I also cannot be held accountable if and when you get hurt later down the line. So yes, as a reputable friend, I will, you know, let you know what the deal is because I genuinely care for you. But it's your choice whether you want to implement any kind of action afterwards or, you know, change your perspective. I just, nah.
Interesting stuff.
Oh, but don't you find it so frustrating? There's like so many things. I just don't know why, particularly in like UK culture, we overcomplicate dating so much and we overcomplicate the process of getting to know somebody and, you know, all of that and managing expectations. We always project what we think and what we want onto another person instead of just having the conversation about what we think and what we want. Why?
Yeah. I'll get to that. But do you know what? I feel like you guys have made one big assumption in thinking that all situationships are as a result of miscommunication or bad communication between two parties. Sometimes they have perfect communication and they actually want to be in a situation. They don't want to be in a relationship, but they are happy to be in each other's company.
But then that's not a situation. Surely that's friends with benefits.
Friends with benefits comes under situation.
Really?
Does it?
It does. A situationship, it does. It does, because you're not in a relationship. Think about it. You're not in a relationship, but you are in a situation.
Yeah, but you're two consented situation. Okay, we need to actually define what we mean by situationships, because I think we
define it.
Meanings. For me, at least, I personally see a situation is something that. How would you even define situationship?
You're not in a relationship.
You don't have any kind of real label to your relation with another person, and you are in a engagement with them that cannot necessarily be defined, but this is not as a result of like you choosing, so it's not out of like choice per se, but more so out of fundamentally miscommunication.
I think you're adding miscommunication to your definition.
I think it can be over any time, to be honest.
Say that again?
I think there are a few gray areas. I think there's different parts that kind of overlap.
Because if I think about it, in any kind of relationship, whether it's a couple that is now dating or they're even married now, I feel like there is a point that everyone was in a situationship. There was always a point where you say no.
No.
Okay. There was always that point. Yeah. There was always one point where, even if you're going to talk about miscommunication, there was always that point where maybe the female or the male, whoever it was in the time, was thinking that, okay, I'm ready to progress this, but I don't know what the other person is saying. Let me wait for what the other person is saying. Okay, or the other one is, there's always been that level of miscommunication as well, until one person makes a steps and says, oh yeah, I actually like you, or I'm ready to push this further. So you could say that everyone has been in a situationship, because at that time when they were still courting or talking to each other, there wasn't any title on them, but they knew they were maybe they were exclusive, so they weren't seeing someone else or trying to engage in another person or something like that. They will focus on this singular individual. So you could argue that everyone has been in a situationship. Situationships lead to relationships.
Bold statement.
I disagree. I think I agree insofar as a situationship is when there is no clarity around where the individuals stand within a particular relationship. However, I think the moment that there is even an ounce of clarity, it doesn't become a situationship. It becomes whatever that clarified thing is. So, for example, in what you were saying about like everyone's been in a situationship before, not necessarily. I would say that that's dating, as opposed to being a situationship. But then I guess, I mean, I hear the argument that you could consider it a situationship because there's that lack of clarity. But I would say that's more so dating, because it's less, especially if you're in like the early stages of the relationship. For me, a situationship always arrives when it's like much later down in a particular like engagement, and there's still a lack of clarity around where this is going. Whereas the dating stages, because it's early on, it doesn't feel like a situation because you haven't invested time or invested resources in this individual without knowing where it's going.
But then again, time is relative as well, because for some people can date for a year before they feel like, they're ready to.
5-year talking stage, Abi. Not since
listen. Some people have been scarred.
Particularly men be out here entertaining 5-year talking stage.
Some people have been scarred. Some people have been scarred. Some people are not. They need to break down that first, like, it's those issues that they have with trust and all of this kind of stuff from past experiences before they can move on. I'm not arguing for 5 years. I don't know who does that, but I don't know that.
But then I think that if you're still dealing with trauma, then then communicate that up, like straight up. It's not a situationship if you're honest about your situation. Okay. But a lot of people who are dealing with trauma and dealing with issues that are not being straight up about their circumstances, which then leads to situationships, because they're not clear about where they want to go. In fact, a lot of people create the idea or like purposefully curate a situationship so that they can run away from commitment but have the benefits of, you know, the a titled relationship. So I feel that if you're dealing with, you know, nonsense in your life, as long as you're upfront about it and you tell the other person where you're at, that's not a situationship, and you can't be responsible for that person's reaction. But if you're not upfront about it and you're intentionally vague, what's the meaning of that?
Okay.
This is how you end up, what do you call it, courting a guy, and then 2 years down the line, when you think you're down with him, you'll find out that he's married with 5 kids.
Come on.
What did you say? Excuse me.
You guys have not been seeing this TL. This TL, yeah. Let me tell you something. You will absolutely open Twitter one day and see some girl saying "Happy birthday, boo," only to find out that he's got 2 baby mums and 5 kids. I'm telling you.
I find it hard to believe this stuff. I feel like it's just in movies and TV.
Nah, this stuff happens. The real world is worse than movies, man. Okay, please give me an example, yeah? Give me an example of a situationship.
A girl and a guy have been, you know, dating for a couple of weeks now. And
how many weeks?
A couple of weeks.
Couple is relative.
Okay, let's say a couple of months.
Nah, I'm not even trying to be pedantic. I actually want to know. I want to know. I want to be able to.
But the thing is, if I would say to that, you would need to start as you intend to finish, right? Because if you're going to be pedantic about it, then I think there's no point in having the conversation about situationship, because everything is relative and everything is all about, you know, individual.
No. But I'm just talking about with time, because you're saying a couple of weeks. A couple of weeks is how much? For some people, 4 weeks is a long time.
Yeah, but then I feel like you can make the argument with months or years as well. Like, I don't think that there's a line that you can draw when you start talking about the relativity.
No, but I feel like there is a time, like if you're talking to someone for a year, that's long, man. Come on.
But that's relative. Is that, I could argue that's relative.
No, it's relative, yeah. But to a general consensus, to the majority, let's go with the majority. A year is a long time.
How can you prove that that's the majority?
Huh?
How do you prove that's the majority?
From experience.
Then that's your
Everyone involved in this conversation right now, do you think 1 year talking to someone is long?
That's hella long, word.
No.
That's wow.
Well, just talking. That's not even dating.
That's bondage.
Someone for a year.
That's bondage.
No.
Okay, back to your example, please. Sorry.
Okay. Let's say a couple of months. You have been speaking to somebody, you know, for a couple of months. And from the way that you have been engaging with that person, you understand that, at least based on your perspective, that this person is serious. You know, they've spoken about the fact that at some point in their life, they want to be married. At some point, they want to move in with somebody. They want to start their life with somebody or whatnot. They've been, you know, courting you in the way that you would expect your partner to court you, all of that kind of stuff. But then you go on your TL one day and you see them flirting back and forth with another person. Or you might, you know, have a conversation with your friend and they'll tell you, oh, but, you know, I saw them doing XYZ with another person, you know, last week. Or worse still, you'll go to a function thinking that you two are, you know, on your way to exclusivity, and there they are, disgracing you at the bar.
Okay. I think I've got insight, a clearer insight or clearer understanding to your definition of situationship.
But just to go back before you finish, Segun, I think when you mentioned before how situationship is where everyone starts, I agree with Renee, as in, I think that's where you drop off. I think there's a neutral stage where everyone starts, but then when there's that lack of uncertainty and communication, whatever, that's something that it could lead into. But yeah, let me carry on.
Yeah, I'm saying I understand your definition. My definition of situationship is a bit different. I just see it as you're not in a relationship, you're in a situation. The situation is the nature. The situation is the nature of the relationship that you're in with somebody. So you're in a situation, yeah. Wait. You're in a situation, yeah? I'm not. Yeah, you gotta put your situation as in a bad thing, as a negative thing. I just see a situation as a circumstance. You're in a circumstance. You're in a phase. You're in a certain place. Yeah,
Undefined.
right place. Yeah, you're in a state. You're in a certain state.
Answer the state.
Yeah, so you're not yet. You're not yet. You're not. You're just there. You're in that. You're in that state. You're in that state where it could go left. It could go right. That's my thing. That's how I picture a situationship. I don't picture it as being a completely negative thing. And I don't feel like situationships are a result of just miscommunication as well.
So are you saying that you can?
But if I was going by your definition, then yeah, I'll say situationships are bad. If I'm going by you guys'
So you're saying that you can be dating and be in a situationship?
I feel like situationship and dating are used interchangeably. Well, by people around me. Like, some people describe it, will say, yeah, we're dating. Someone saying I'm in a situation. So maybe the other person is not ready. Maybe.
But a situation sounds like you need to go and call a firefighter to go and put out the fire. Whereas dating is like, I'm seeing.
Situation is not a bad word. Situation is not a mal word. It's not a bad word.
If someone.
But it's normally the normal usage of situation is when there is some kind of negativity around it, or some kind of like, oh goodness, this is something that needs to be fixed. That's the way that most people use it in the English language.
And this is the problem with the English language. This is the problem with the English language.
No, it's like you work.
Is it?
Say that again?
I said, is it necessarily a problem? Because there's multiple words in the English, like in general, that can be used for different things, and in different, like the meaning of them changes in popular culture. And I just, at least for me personally, I think this debate would be purposeless if the meanings that we attribute to the words are different, because it means that we'll always have different understandings of what situationships/situation means. Because to me, situation has always been to describe something that needs to be like fixed, or is in a stage of flux, or is just kind of like not.
Exactly. And for me, situations have been described as kind of either just a neutral thing or positive as well. Do you know what? Some of my friends call pretty females situations. That's a situation. That's a situation. You know, people do refer to people. I'm not even joking. That's a situation. She's a situation.
Wow. Okay.
You see, this is probably why
she's a big deal. Like, wow, like, whoa, she's a situation.
No, that's a different context that you just mentioned.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm coming from a background of where situation is not always seen as a negative word. Well, in the context that we do, in the context of interaction with relationships, whether it's just talking to a girl, or even just looking at a female and being enticed by her, we use it as a positive thing. But that's what I'm saying. If I come to your definition of what a situationship is, yeah, I understand. That's a situationship is trash.
Yeah, but in terms of relationship status and relationship between you and that person, not just them as a situation, but you and them. How about that context?
Wait, but then this doesn't make sense, because if it's seen as a negative thing, who describes a relationship as a situationship? Is it not the parties inside that relationship that will describe it? Like, maybe you're asking your friend, what's happening with so-and-so? And then you'd be like, yeah, it's just, we're in a situationship. We're in a situation. It's never, ever an outsider person that describes that relationship as a situation, because you can't really speak for that relationship. If you do, you're probably speaking off the back of what your friend has told you, or the person in the relationship, the parties involved in the relationship has told you. So why would someone in that relationship, why are they describing it as a negative thing?
Because it's undefined. It's like I ask you, you know, you work at this company. what is your role, and then you say, oh, I'm in a situation. I don't get that.
No, but we don't use that word for that.
Yeah, but you understand what I'm trying to say, right?
Say that again.
But you understand what I'm trying to say, right? You work in a business, and what's your relationship, in this business, to this business? Like, what are you doing? You can't be in a situation, bro.
You can't. But the thing that we're using it in terms of colloquial, like we use this situation. Well, even when you talk about situationship, this is all colloquial language, so we can't now bring it to like the corporate world or issues like that. If we're speaking for me, I feel like it all comes down to where you've grown up or your environment as to what the definition of a situationship is. Like for me, I just see it as basically in the talking stage, you're dating. That's how I see it. I don't see it as is a problem. You guys see it as there was an issue. There's an issue. There's a situation. There's a problem. That's how you guys see it.
But that's what I want to clarify. So you're saying that you can be dating, having plans, etc., and you're in a situationship.
Yeah. Like, let's say if I was seeing someone and we're not yet in a relationship, I haven't said, hey, do you want to be my girl? Yeah. I would describe it to one of my guys as we're in a situation.
You would say dating, situation.
Man, this
is the reason why women are out here talking about I'm tired of situationships, because of the lack of clarity. Situation. Word we use for is dating. What is this? Oh, we're in the situation.
But the same thing. But at the same time, you're saying, yeah, women are saying they're tired of situations. At the same time, they say they're tired of dating as well. I'm tired of dating. I'm not dating anymore. I'm tired of talking stage. I'm not talking anymore. It's the same stuff. No, and I'm not talking about dating as in just going on dates. Dating as in you're seeing somebody.
Not necessarily like that. I think that they're two different contexts. When you say you're tired of a situationship, you're tired of the lack of clarity within a particular engagement with a particular person. Whereas if you say that you're tired of dating, maybe it's the actual concept of dating around and meeting other men that you've problematized. Yeah.
But then when they've gone to expand further, it's clear as to what they mean. Not dating as in, oh yeah, I'm taking you out to this place like that. Dating, they mean dating as in you're seeing somebody, as in you're courting each other.
I just think relationships are two different things.
Again, I'm saying I'm going to go by the definition that you guys have said because you guys are the majority here. So I'm going to stick by what you guys are telling me. And with that, I feel like, yeah, everyone should just be clear. It's simple.
So you're basically trying to say is a situationship is equivalent or another way to describe a relationship. They're not two different things. You're saying they can be one and the same.
No, I'm saying a situationship is a kind of relationship. Number one, is a type of relationship. It's not a relationship in the sense that now you guys are boyfriend and girlfriend or whatever.
Okay.
I see it as a stage before that. Is a kind of vacuum. Is a kind of space where you haven't put an official title or something. Now, there's different kinds of situationships. There's ones where it's a bit bad, where there's no clarity. But then there's situationships where no one has been ballsy enough to say, yeah, I want to be with you. I want to take this to the next step, kind of thing. That's still a situationship for me. For me, I don't see a situationship as always being as a result of miscommunication or someone else having an ulterior motive, trying to be out there in the streets while still trying to connect with the person that you're trying to connect with. I don't see it as that.
Okay, but in our culture today, if you're in a situationship, what does that mean?
I explained my culture. Maybe
no,
you guys.
No, it's not your culture, please.
I explained my culture. I told you. I've explained my side. I would describe, yeah, a situationship. Number one is in, I don't get it. Is if the name of the word, yeah, the word is situationship. So that means it must be a type of relationship. It
What
must
does
be
the
of.
word-
Yeah. That internet. Throw your internet in the bin. I have to
dropped off
see.
unnecessarily, but
Yeah, you can repeat your definition before
No,
Renee.
I'll let Renee go because she was gonna say something. She was gonna say something.
that situation. So the word does mean a set of circumstances, but when we apply it to a thing, it means we have a problem. Like when someone says we have a situation, it means we have a problem. It is, even though it means both, even though it means both, in popular culture, general culture, when one says they have a situation, it's used as proxy for I have a problem.
Exactly. Key word you said in popular culture. Popular culture is not everybody. It's not everybody. Again, if I look in the dictionary,
But then,
one second.
But then, okay, so we can't really progress with this conversation if we're just going to continue talking about the relativity of words and who defines words and blah blah blah. We need to decide on a definition.
That's why I said that's why I said you guys are the majority. I've said this 5 times. I've said I will go by what you guys are saying. But anyway, let me just read out the definition of a situation: a set of circumstances in which one finds oneself, a state of affairs.
Okay, define. Can you Google situationship and tell us what the definition of that is?
Don't breathe. You can't breathe, mate.
Wow. Do you know what? Yeah, you guys type it in as well. I'm just gonna go by the first thing. I'm not gonna go on. I'm just gonna see the first thing. Read out the first thing. The first thing I've seen.
Okay.
Yeah? A situationship is a romantic relationship that is undefined or uncommitted. That's how I see it. That's how I see what a situationship is.
Or uncommitted. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I was going to say. We're on the same page.
Wait, I'm saying that. You guys are saying, that a situationship is basically, you're seeing it as a negative thing. From that definition, can you say a situationship is a negative thing? From the definition I just read out.
So basically, when you basically, okay, I think we're both now kind of aligned. You're saying is
No.
Wait, hold on. Let me finish. So basically, what you're saying is an undefined, and what's the word again? Wait, hold on.
Undefined and uncommitted.
Yes,
undefined and uncommitted.
Uncommitted situationship isn't always a bad thing. That's what you're saying.
No, I'm saying a situationship. Yeah, the actual situationship is not always a bad thing.
But you read the first definition. Like, did you not say that's what you're?
Wait, I'll read the definition out again. A situationship. Yeah. A situationship is a romantic relationship that is undefined or uncommitted. Yeah.
Okay.
Back to what I was saying again. It is, you can be in a relationship to someone, but a situationship is a relationship that has no title. So there's no commitment in the sense that you're not dating. I mean, you're not boyfriend and girlfriend or whatever. You guys are in a relationship, a romantic relationship, because you like each other or whatever it is, whatever the relationship attraction is, but there's no title on it. So there's no real commitment to it. But then that's it. And I'm saying that's not always a bad thing. And that's why I said, I feel like every relationship, everyone is in a situationship before it becomes a relationship. Before that one person says, yo, listen, I want to take this to the next level. That's when I feel like, this thing ascends from a situationship to now a relationship. Wipe your glasses.
Okay.
There's respect there.
Tired of you, man.
There's respect there.
Not a spec, it's the reflection of the phone, but okay, bro.
Yeah, throw your phone in the bin.
We're tired of you, man. We're tired of you for that, man.
I'm right, man. I'm right. But again, I said I'll go by your definition. And if I'm going by your definition, situationship is a dope. Because I feel like you should enter every relationship.
No, do you know what? Yeah, let's broaden it out.
Yeah, please.
Let's just broaden it out. Okay, cool. So yeah, there's different types of situationships. Some of them are negative, some of them are positive. They're not always bad. Some of them are good.
Thank you.
I really killed her to say
That's
it.
what I wanted.
Doesn't agree with you, by the way. You're just saying it.
Yeah, but she agrees with it. Because
I
you
don't
guys
agree
told me
with
to get. But you guys told me. Can I say something? Can I say something? You guys
We
told
can
me
agree
to go and get a
to disagree.
definition, and my definition sided with what I'm saying. The
Yeah, that's why I
definition.
said we can agree to disagree, but that doesn't mean we agree with the way that you define the word.
There's no such thing as disagree to agree.
Yes, there
agree
is.
to agree.
Agree to disagree. We can have the fact that we can both have differing and dissenting opinions. We can run with an argument with this key definition. That doesn't mean that we actually believe in it.
I don't like Renee anymore.
Oh, indeed.
That's funny.
Oh my gosh.
But again, now talking about bad situationships, yeah, or situationships where, do you know what? Yeah, do you know what? I feel like actually, number one, your views on situationships as being skewed by how people have defined it on social media platforms. They always describe it and define it as more time the male guy being an unserious candidate. He's not
But
ready
it's
for
also not just social media, it's also experiences coming from Mr. We all have this, differing relative cultures. What made you think that I defined situationships as negative as a result of social media and not my personal experience or my culture?
Because you mentioned it. You brought up Twitter. You said that so many people have said, I'm tired of situationships. You brought
but there's
up
not necessarily
which is telling me
my interaction with social media is also a broader part of my culture, because remember, social media is responsive to certain algorithms and the people I follow and the people that are closest to me.
Yeah.
There's not necessarily that social media as an objective kind of platform has been feeding these ideas to me, but they've also been born out of the actual experiences of people that are around me, as well as my friends, as well as my experiences, as well as all other things. So yeah.
Yes, and again, I think that your friends as well, everybody has all been influenced by social media. You won't see somebody above the age of let me say someone that's completely kind of out of sync with our kind of time. I'll say above the ages of even 35, even probably you've cut someone 35 since situation, but above the age of 40, in most cases, you won't see someone referring to any phase of the relationship as a situationship. So again, I feel like this is a new age thing. Situationship, the term situationship is a new age term, and it is relevant to our culture, and it has been broadcasted on social media. No one will be saying situationship. No one was saying situationship before the rise of social media.
I think it's
I don't think so.
I think it's just putting a name on it. Yeah, just putting a name. It's always been there. It's just putting a name on it.
Exactly. And how did people describe a relation with someone before there was an actual title on it? They'll just call it dating or courting. The new word now, I think, is situationship.
It's just, you can say it's a new word because, I mean, I don't even know what to say. You can say it's a new word.
Like 5 times before he started.
It is what it is. That's what we know it for.
Ellie, I don't get your point.
No, I mean, it's like, I don't even think of any examples, to be honest, but it's been around for a long time where something is undefined, where a relationship is undefined and there's an uncommitted. It just so happens that, as you're saying, there's now a title for it called situationship.
And that's what I'm saying. Is that a bad thing? Is that a bad thing that there's a stage where people's relationships are undefined? It's not always a bad thing. That's what I'm trying to argue. That's what I'm trying to say. That the word situation and the word situationship are not always negative things. That's all I'm saying.
They're definitely positive things, but in at least my culture and popular culture, my experiences, yes.
Yeah. Okay. At least for me, I don't know, looking at the even broader perspective, I don't know anything good that comes out of an undefined anything, to be honest.
Wait, you don't know anything good that comes out of something being undefined?
Nope.
A lot of things.
Usually, it's the person is afraid of like people are afraid of commitment.
Okay, so before any relationship that you've been in, before you decided to take the step of
Okay,
let's talk about relationship. You meet
in
somebody.
Stages. I'm not talking about the dating. I'm not talking about dating. I'm talking about you've been with this person. This particular context for me applies to when you've been with a person for a relatively substantial amount of time and it's still undefined. When you're fresh and dating, it's cool to be in a situation. But at least for me personally, if we're like a good 3 to 6 months down the line and I still don't know where we're going, lock off.
Yeah, I agree with that. If it's still an undefined thing in a time period where things should have progressed, and you haven't given me any kind of insight as to where we are going, what we're doing, then yeah, by all means, that's a joke. That's a joke. What do you think this is?
So you're trying to say from your own perspective is that the situationship or situation is where people start from. It's not what leads into. It's not something that you are led into. It's where you start from.
I feel like all situationships, every
Wait, hold on. You
relationship.
have to answer yes or no first before you give your explanation. You have to say yes or no.
Say what you said again, please.
So basically, what you're saying is that a situation or situationship is a point from where you start from. It's not something that you're led into.
It's something I don't feel like anyone's led into it. Well, you can be led into it, but it's a phase. It's just a phase in the relationship cycle, if I call it that. You meet somebody, you're attracted to that person, you start talking. You get to a point where you can maybe call yourself mutually exclusive, like, okay, I'm only gonna focus on this person and talk to that person, but then you're still not committed. You're still not saying that person is the person I want to be with. This person is my girlfriend. That's still that for me is a situationship, because you are in a relationship, an undefined relationship. There's no title. Undefined means there's no title on it. So there's no title on it, but you are still having a romantic relation.
But then I feel like you defeated the point when you said that you've decided to be mutually exclusive.
But I hope you know. Wait, I hope you know. Yeah, you can still be saying that you're only talking to one person. You guys are only talking to each other, but you're not boyfriend and girlfriend.
That's commitment. That's part commitment, bro.
Exactly. That is still commitment, but that's still undefined. That's still undefined. How is that defined? What do you call each other?
The two conditions in the definition of situationship is uncommitted and undefined. Unfortunately, when you decide to be mutually exclusive, you remove the uncommitted part. Therefore, there is cause to that this is not mutual.
No, let me say something. Let me say, when you decide, yeah, there's a difference between when you decide and when you state it. When you state it, that's when it changes. When you decide, it's in your head. You don't tell the other person. If you have now told the person that, oh yeah, I'm only going to speak to you now, you're pretty much now committed. You're in a relationship from that stage. When you do that, but then in your mind, yeah, like me, if I meet somebody that I like and all this kind of stuff, we're talking, we get to the point, like, I will get to the point where I'm like, okay, cool. I feel like this is a serious candidate. I'm going to pursue her properly. I'm going to cut off all ties with everyone else that I may have been chatting to at that stage. That's when I'm saying in my mind that, yeah, listen, I want to become mutually exclusive. Like, I want to only focus on this person. And then it gets to the stage where I let her know, I state it. I say, listen, you're the only person for me. And then that's when I say that, yes, that is now a defined relationship. There's a title on that relationship.
So up until that point, where you say something, there's a
lot of unnecessary riffraff in stuff.
Sorry, we didn't get that.
Go on.
We didn't get that. We didn't get that last one.
I said there's just a lot of unnecessary clarification in that stage of becoming riffraff. Because, like, okay, you've decided in your head, okay, I'm going to make this mutually exclusive. I'm only going to pursue her, blah, blah, blah. That's calm. That's your own personal problem. And I don't even think that should even be like a point of discussion, because I think that's pretty much, it's your own doing if you don't tell the other person where you're at in terms of like your thoughts. That is by definition, there's no commitment there, because a commitment by definition, at least within the context of a relationship, needs to occur between two parties. And if it's something that you have said within yourself, that is your own personal problem, and that doesn't really
personal problem.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. You guys were
commitment.
you guys jumped on the point when I said, yeah, you decided to become mutually exclusive. And you're saying, and you try to bring in the definition I brought in of a situation to say that, yeah, I'm basically countering what I said. And I was describing to you that no, in your mind, mentally, before you now state it out and say that, yes, I want to be in a I want to be mutually exclusive with you. I want to be with only you. Before that, you thought about that. Yeah, you've done this. You've actually done that. Some people say it straight away. Some people it takes a week. Some people it takes a month to get to that stage. But then there's always a point where before it becomes an action, before it becomes something that you actually do, you've thought in your mind. That's what I was just going. That was just rebuttal to the point that you made. But anyway, going back to what I'm saying again, situationships are not always a wrong thing. Situationships lead to relationships. Situationships can also lead to toxic relationships. Situationships can also lead to, I don't know, a lot of situationships, again, which is what I'm saying, but that's why I brought it in social media, is that a lot of people that have been in a phase of situationship have been played. That's why situationship has a negative connotation, but it's not always a negative thing.
But if it is negative, I think if it is negative in most cases, you know, and like you said, it could end either way, then shouldn't you call a spade a spade?
What you just said, it does not make sense to me.
It's negative. That's what I'm saying. It's negative.
But it's not always negative.
It's like I mean, as many times.
How can it be negative?
We have absolutely.
Ellie, before you got with your wife, yeah. Let me ask you a question. What stage were you in? What were you doing? Were you not talking? You went past talking to start saying, yeah, I really like this woman. Yeah, I want to be with this woman.
Yeah.
Then you let her know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What would you call that phase before letting her know? Yeah. Between meeting or getting to know her, yeah, you're now talking to her, and before calling her your woman, yeah. What do you call that phase? What's that phase called?
I would define it as the talking stage.
That whole time was the talking stage.
Yeah.
So you're saying that whole period between from when you first met her and before you told her you said that this is your girlfriend, yeah, that whole stage is still just the talking stage.
Yeah, because it can't be a situationship if it's defined, at least, because that's at least one of the boxes ticked, which is the talking stage. There's a talking stage, at least, and then it becomes official.
Boy.
We're not disagreeing, and I think the problem is situationship is not it's a very vague term. Situation describes a certain set of circumstances, for better or for worse. Ellie's point, in popular culture, for most of us, when we deploy the word situation, we're talking about something that is negative because it's non-committal. However, Segun has made the point that situation, being a neutral term, means that a situationship can neither be negative or positive, or it can be positive or negative.
That's all I said. You guys went against what I was saying. I said, yes, we would stick.
Wow.
I've said that from the beginning. When you rewatch this and re-listen to it, and the viewers will also see, again, that's all I've said. You guys then said that, no, that's not the case. A situationship is a bad thing. A situationship is a negative thing. You can rewind this thing. When you watch it and re-listen to it, you will see that's what you guys said. And I'm just saying that, no, that's not the case. But then even for the nature of this discussion, I'm going to take the example, go with the case that situationships are a bad thing.
Well, this is true, but it's not necessarily that we disagree. This is why I said it's better for us to agree to disagree, basically.
I already agreed to disagree when I said that I would go with the stance and go with the narrative that you guys have said.
Then you also continue to argue against our points when we started using that in that context.
Is when you guys went to throw shade at me. That's when I then decided.
Oh. Yeah.
But again, in the context of what you guys are saying, a situationship is a joke thing. It's not real. It's not serious. Because if you are not ready, or if you don't feel like you're ready for real commitment, don't let someone feel like you're ready for commitment. Don't lead someone on. That's what I believe. Don't lead anybody on.
I think even a better thing that we may even question is our association of situationship with bad things. Like, what is it in our culture that causes us to believe a situationship is a bad thing? Like, is it the fact that, well, at least for me personally, the reason that I don't like situationships is because I dislike the lack of clarity, and I dislike the fact that I'm not really quite sure where this ship is going to sail off to. And I like being very clear about my intentions and where I want to end up in future with a person. So an initial situationship in the way that Segun describes it, insofar as I'm getting to know the person, is fine. But for me, a situationship becomes inappropriate roughly around the 2-month mark. I'm just like, okay, big one, where are we going with this, And I think it's also good to talk about situationships outside the context of romantic relationships as well, right? You can also have situationships with friends or within platonic relationships where you're actually not quite sure where something is going. But we often again use it in the romantic context. But yeah, for me in the romantic context, it's only negative because it shows to me a lack of commitment and a lack of certainty. And these are two things that, as to a relationship, at least for me, I value it highly. So yeah, that's my perspective.
Hear that?
Can't argue with that.
Can't argue with that.
You sure?
Guys, everything's back to normal. Renee and Segun are not agreeing. So
Ellie got what he was wishing for.
So
no, but as though this is you. Ellie's one of them people that will pretend to be the middleman, but you are really out here trying to tell this for you.
Thank you.
Because me and Segun, we agreed on ages ago, but you continued with that.
I blame you.
You blame me?
I blame you. I blame you.
I'm a peacemaker, man. I'm just here for
peacemaker.
The love.
Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Oh, wow, that was
more time. The peacemakers are the people that add fuel to the fire.
The flame. They're the ones that will be calling boys to come and start fighting.
Wow.
Right, man. Go on, my G. Throw the next punch.
I was just that guy in school just watching the fight, man. I was just...
Hype man.
No, I wasn't a hype man. I was definitely not hype.
Let the girl know. I'll repeat that because I know we just started recording. To every guy, it's 2020. Let the girl know what you're saying. Let her know from the onset. Don't lead anybody on. Don't tell somebody, yes, I'm feeling you, or what you say, and then you're also speaking to somebody else on the side. And come on, man, don't do that.
And don't be out here. I even saw this in a YouTube video. Don't be out here buying this person a PlayStation 5 when you don't even know what state.
Buy PlayStation 5. Buy PlayStation 5, please.
Look at the hypocrite. Look at the hypocrite.
We need PlayStation 5 there, man. I'm joking. I'm serious. But we do need PlayStation 5, so
wow.
Any aunties that want to sponsor?
A request that you people should be asking your man them since you love them so much.
Ask the man them. Listen, all the guys, everyone wants to get their own PS5, so I cannot ask the man to buy.
PS5 is only if I was married to a person. The best that you can get out of me is FIFA.
I wouldn't disagree with that. A lot of money, you know,
Right?
on the line.
PS5 is what, a grand something? Nah, man.
Only FIFA, at least get a controller as well, another controller.
What do I look
Come
like
on,
to you? I mean, don't you know that your pay? Listen, my paycheck is my paycheck. Your paycheck is our paycheck.
Ah,
I'm trolling. I am trolling. I'm trolling like 80%. There's still 20% of